Hello and welcome to the Rugby League POMCast. It is the final episode of the NRL season. Before we crack on into the Ashes, we'll be doing a bit of Ashes build-up today as well. But most importantly, we'll be running through the Grand Final and the Team of the Year for the Daly M's. And joining me, fresh-faced from a day after work, a day after the Broncos Awards do that he went to. It is our co-host on the Rugby League POMCast. It is Sam Leckie. How are we, Sam?
I'm not feeling fresh, mate. It's just one of those nights where you go really wish that they would put it on, very selfishly. Just consider the people because I start work really early. Like I start work at 3:30 in the morning to do breakfast radio, and when an event like that is on a Thursday night, I'm not going to go to it, and I'm not going to drink the free 4X Golds that are on offer. But it was a long night and it dragged on a lot, but that's because there was so much to say when
Yeah.
you get both teams winning a premiership. It was it was a good night. It was a really good night, and a lot of great stories and all of that sort of thing. But I'm feeling it today, but I'm happy I went. It was one of those nights.
Was Ricky still asking for Buzz Rossfield's number?
Oh, yeah, so Jordan, Ricky, and Kobe Hetherington, pardon me, they got their horse trophies for 100 games as Brisbane Broncos players, and
Mm-hmm.
um, Jordan and they went up and got the award, and then Michael Atkinson, who was hosting it, said, "Boys, come over here. You're not escaping without answering a couple of questions for the crowd," and asked Kobe Hetherington all these stories. And Jordan Ricky's face during that was priceless. Like he's standing there, because it's been a big couple of days for them, right? And Jordan Ricky was sort of like, yeah, really excited and said all of that sort of thing, and then got into me and Buzz have patched things over, and he's going to come to Brisbane and chat to me next year. So that was hilarious, like so funny. And I'm not a massive Buzz Rothfield fan, but to be fair, he handled it pretty well. One of those moments where he sort of copped it on the chin, all the criticism that he gave the Broncos throughout the year,
Yeah.
and yeah, good. Look, when you win, you can say whatever you want, and the Broncos absolutely did that.
Yeah, exactly that, and the comments he was making, but he wasn't the only one making comments
No,
at the start of the
Paul
year.
Paul
This,
Crawley's the other one. Oh, mate, some of the things like Paul Crawley saying that the Broncos celebrating too hard when they beat Souths, and then the next week Ezra and Selwyn and Adam Reynolds all popped their hammies. It was like maybe it's a little bit of karma for being arrogant. Like some of the shit that came out from Sydney journos talking about the Broncos was just ridiculous. Look, you can write what they hadn't proved anyone wrong, but now they have. And yeah, I feel like there's going to be a very different approach to reporting on the Broncos next year. I'll tell you that.
yeah, absolutely there will be, and now they've got to go out and prove themselves yet again because really, like all final series, you talk about the run that they went on, and you talk about the start of the year, the form they were. I think they were what's the 4 wins, 6 losses out of the first 10. They were pretty hit and miss. There was talk about training ground, and then they suddenly got this run on coming into the finals. And then during the finals, they were beaten by the Raiders twice and won.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They were beaten by the Raiders twice. They were then losing against the Panthers at halftime 14-0,
And you
where
don't win those games.
everyone went, yeah, that's it, game
Yeah,
over.
you don't beat Penrith from that position.
No, they somehow had this mad comeback where they scored unanswered points against Penrith. Like, let alone scoring one
Mm.
try against Penrith is good. Scoring multiple and unanswered at that is unbelievable. And Reece Walsh has been the player of the last, 6, 7 rounds,
Yeah,
you'd say? Going from regular season into the finals. He's just
yeah,
been in sensational form since the whole toilet Watergate scandal.
yeah.
It's just been incredible, and what a sight it was at the end of the game to see all the players with
The toilet mug. Yeah,
toilet mugs.
yeah. I do wonder they would feel very silly if all of that was arranged and you saw Reece Walsh walking around with the toilet at the end of the game and holding it up to the crowd. I think he got that one from from in the crowd. But yeah, I think you'd feel very silly if you'd set all that up to have your postseason drinks and you lost the game. But yeah, Reece Walsh obviously took it on himself to win it because he'd known what he had prepared for the post-match celebrations with the toilets. But yeah, that run, like the Canberra game, we spoke about that a couple of weeks ago. The Penrith game, you don't win those games against the Panthers. Or more like the Panthers don't lose those games where they're leading in big games. Normally they just put the foot on the throat, and 14 points is a lot against the Panthers. And then, even some of the tries in that game were a little bit arsey. Like there was the Ben Hunt pass that got knocked down and Willison falls in his lap. And then, but they didn't, it didn't seem to bother them that the comeback was ugly. They won it ugly. And then against the Melbourne Storm, again, coming back again, they were 16 points down, I think, at one point. And then Reece Walsh scored that try, or 12 points down at one point. So Reece Walsh scored that try on half time, or just before half time, and then that second half. And a lot's been spoken about the performance of Reece Walsh and the Clive Churchill, and comparing his Clive Churchill this year to Nathan Cleary's Clive Churchill in 2023. I've got to say that performance from Reece Walsh was the best individual performance I've ever seen from a player in a big game. Like what Nathan Cleary did over the entire game, because it wasn't just the 3 tries he set up and the solo try that he scored. If Tui Kamikamica scores that try, and I was chatting with Matt Ballon last night, the Broncos assistant coach. If Tui Kamikamica scores that try just after half time, that's it. That was the point that the Broncos felt like Ballon said, that the Broncos felt nervous in the box around that time. But Reece Walsh was the one that made the tackle and forced the error. Reece Walsh is the one that chased down Ryan Pappenhausen and forced him into an error with about 5 minutes to go. And then the last play of the game for the Storm, Reece Walsh is the one that shoots up from fullback, takes a massive risk to make a tackle on Ryan Pappenhausen. And it was just the breakdown. If you look at the breakdown from the Daly medal, Reece Walsh didn't have a single vote at round 12. And then he got injured, came back against the Titans. And from that point, he ended up 3rd or 4th behind. Obviously, Teddy won it, but I think he ended up 3rd or 4th behind Cleary and Isaiah Katoa. So it was just the run that he went on, and then the way that he brought the team with him was incredible. And a credit to him. He came back fit from the injury.
7th, he finished.
And even then, when you don't have a single vote at round 12, that's incredible.
It's mad. It's like when Ponga came back and ended up winning it when Sean Johnson should have won.
Yeah, Ponga was retired. and came back and won it. And it was a similar run from Reece Walsh at the last, since probably round 22, 23.
41 points he got in the last.
Yeah. In
7 or 8 rounds, really.
Yeah, ridiculous.
They're where he got him.
Yeah, and that's obviously the consistency now is going to be the question for him, and whether he can repeat the efforts. And it's obviously going to be hard because he's going to have a target on him. But he's so young. And to do that for a club like the Broncos to break the drought that they broke on Sunday, incredible. And he missed out on I think he got best back. He shared best back with Katoni Staggs last night, but and Payne Haas won the Paul Morgan medal, and he now he's got 6, which means that he's the only one. No one's won more than him now at the Broncos. He went past Alan Langer, but all of the efforts of all those players, it's very easy to point out a superstar like Reece Walsh and say that he's the reason that they now have the premiership trophy. But I think on this occasion, it's a very, very fair thing to say that Reece Walsh is why the Broncos won the comp.
And a very underrated moment is during so Melbourne Storm were down a man, and they get a break down the right edge, and he passes it inside to Pappenhausen, and Reece Walsh absolutely clatters him and forces a knock on. He gets a lot of criticism for his defensive effort and his defensive techniques, but that tackle was just he was like a man possessed. He was like, "Nope, I'm getting you. You are not getting past me," and that literally saved the game. Yeah, because they were leading and everything else, but if Storm score, they win it. It's too late in the game. I reckon, for a comeback. It was final 5 minutes. It's just bang, done.
Yeah, yeah, it was sort of that like next try wins sort of situation, and like, but the Broncos knew that they'd been there before, like leading late in the grand final like that, and you could see. I've spent a lot of time around the Broncos the last couple of weeks, and like obviously everybody in our role in the media is going to ask about Penrith in 2023 and what they learnt from that grand final, and they all said, "Yeah, look, we've all learnt our own sort of things from it," but you could see it. Like they tried to talk it down, but you could see what they had learnt from that 2023 grand final at the back end there. I mean, like there was no sort of players shooting up out of the line to try and make a big tackle and missing and leading to a quick play of the ball or that sort of thing, like what we saw a little bit. Like I think it was Jordan Ricky in the 23 grand final that rushed out of the line on Cleary for that final try. You didn't see anything
Mm-hmm.
like that from anybody. Like Jordan Ricky was an absolute rock on the right edge defensively throughout the whole second half when they were trying to go down that edge to open things up for the right, and there was no quick play the balls there. Nothing that opened up for the Storm in the second half, and yeah, it was just a really good performance, and yeah, great to honestly, like selfishly, it was great to watch it and then be around everything before it and after it for the grand final. Like just such a great energy around the Broncos and both the women's and the men's teams. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's no real surprise that both trophies are up at Brisbane now.
No, and it's good to see. You got to give full plaudits. The debate around the head coach was coming into the season. The whole would Kevy Walters have won it with this team? Well, the fact is that question is absolutely a load of rubbish and absolutely hypothetical because you cannot say he would, you cannot say he wouldn't. You can only go off what has currently happened, and that is Michael Maguire won it for them. So rather than talking about will Kevy do it, that's Kevy's players, that's Kevy's squad. You know, he was harshly treated, he was this, that, and the other. Michael Maguire's gone, took them to a new level. They've got a grit of steel, and they've
Yeah,
won it.
yeah.
Simple as. He's ended the drought. He is, I don't know who ended the. He's basically God at Brisbane because he's ended that many droughts. He's ended the droughts at Wigan. He ended the droughts at the Bunnies. He ended droughts at Brisbane now. He's ended New South Wales's
Drought at
drought
Suncorp,
at
the
Suncorp.
Kiwis as
So
well.
the Kiwis, you
Yeah,
know, it's like he's obviously his coaching style didn't work at the West Tigers,
yeah.
but
But you look what happened there afterwards, and
give
he's one of
yeah
those coaches that you talk about being like he was overachieving at the Tigers,
yeah
and you got to give credit
exactly
to him too. Like I mean, if the Broncos weren't spewing in buckets at the start of the season, they don't win those three games in the finals. Like you
yeah.
don't often
Fitness
see
is
teams
huge.
have to come back from where they were in games and win, and then back it up the week after. I know they got the week off between the qualifying and the prelim final, but then yeah, they get a shorter turnaround going into the grand final after a crazy game against Penrith where they all would have been absolutely cooked and then win the grand final again. Like the preseason they did, everything Maguire put them through, that all came to the fore. And credit to him too, where he needed to when he was approached by senior players to change up his coaching style a little bit, he did it. So it shows the coaching. I mean, the coaching and footy IQ that Michael Maguire has, but the fact that now he's done it at, as you said, at New South Wales, New Zealand,
Wigan.
even over at Wigan and even overachieving at the West Tigers. You know, he's a coach. There's no one that can question his coaching credentials now. Gordon Tallis.
At least he doubles down on it and sticks to
Yeah,
his point.
yeah.
But I think he's
Respect
just
for that.
backing his mate, so sod him. He's
Yeah,
just like, and rightfully so. Like loyal. He's an old timer.
and
He's
Kepi wasn't treated great
no,
either.
no, no, no. He's an old timer. It's his best mate. He's won premierships with him. Of
Yeah,
course, he's going to defend him, and of course, he
yeah,
didn't like the situation and how it was handled. So, of course, he's going to kind of have a bit of a ugh about the new
yeah,
coach coming in.
yeah,
That's always going to happen. And you
yeah,
know what? Fair play for him for being loyal, and
yeah.
that's all you can really ask on him. And absolutely well done, Brisbane. As it was literally like picking what bollock he had to cut off in that game. I hate the Storm, hate Brisbane, but you just got to admire the game for what it was.
At least it wasn't Melbourne Penrith. I'd struggle to get around another Melbourne Penrith
but
grand
I've got a
final
soft spot for Penrith, so
yeah, that's true.
So for me, but for everyone else, it was a lose-lose because a lot of people hate Brisbane, a lot of them hate Penrith because of the rain they were on.
Yeah,
it's one of them. It was never going to be a happy one. Everyone just wanted like Raiders and Cronulla for like a bit of neutrality.
I would have liked to see the Raiders in the grand final, but I mean, there's always next year, and I'm sure we'll get into that when we do a bigger post-season review for each team.
Yeah. We'll be doing that over the next couple of weeks. You know, schedules or everything.
Yeah.
How's
your schedule going to be when those test matches start? 12:30 a.m. starts?
Trust me, I'm up in Brisbane for the Wembley test, so I'll be with you in the Caxton watching.
Yep.
Let's do it. Let's book it in.
Done.
Speaking of the Ashes, oh my God. Whoa, what a link. It's almost like we've done this for a while. It's almost like you get paid for this sort of stuff. Can tell he's a producer. Yes, the Ashes, and it's coming up now soon. Australia have announced their squad. England have not announced theirs yet, but we can go through the Australia squad, can't we? I can't believe the Australians have picked so many English players in it.
Yeah, I know that you kept texting me about Ethan Strange. Oh, even
Ethan Strange, Blake Brayley.
Even Jasmine Strange picked in the New Zealand side for the Women's Pacific Champions.
Wow.
So they're just the poor old RFL. They're getting the rug pulled out from under them.
Literally. Oh, so she's picked New Zealand, so she can't represent England.
Yeah. And can't play Origin either. It's so strange. Like her brother's going to play Origin, and he's in the Australian side. Her dad coaches Origin, and she's just going, "No, I'm going."
She wanted to play for England. Earlier on this year, now she's flipped to New Zealand. Tell you what, loyalty is dead in sport, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh yeah. All the R360 stuff this year, and some of the players that are getting linked to it, you go like, I just can't see them going to a league where there's going to be no loyalty to any team. But as you said, loyalty is dead. I like the Australian squad.
Shall I run through it while I've got it on, on my computer? And you can hop back on our screens.
Sorry, everyone.
Sam is on his phone today because
he's decided
to go
blame
to his
the
girlfriend's
Broncos.
house. Shocking. So yes, Addo Carr's been called up on the wing. Then we've got Brandon Best, Blake Brayley for the Sharks. Them two are debutants. Or debutants, depending on how you pronounce it. Pat Carrington, Nathan Cleary, Lindsay Collins, Ruben Cotter, Angus Crichton represent the Seas. Tom Dearden in. Dylan Edwards in. Tino Fasamalawi in. Harry, the only Titans rep, I believe. Yep, only Titans rep. Then we go Harry Grant, vice captain. Lo Matongi, another debutant from the Bunnies. Mitch Moses, Cam Munster, Mark Nwango Itawase.
Close.
Yeah, I'm English. We don't pronounce much right, so that's the best he's getting from me. Jacob Preston, do you want to do the pronunciation for us?
For Preston? Nwango Itawase. Lindsay Smith. Oh, yeah. Kalamatangi. Oh, yeah.
And Kalamatangi and Stags. Stags represented Tonga last year.
Yeah.
Against England. No, year before. Year before against England.
Yep.
Ethan Strange, Reece Walsh, two more debutants. Isaiah Yeo, Hudson Young. And they are the 23 players?
Yes, yeah.
23 players, 5 halfbacks picked.
Yeah.
What is going on? Is he thinking like, what's going to happen is we're going to win the first 2 dead easy and we're just going to throw in a random halfback combination. Make sure Ethan Strange plays so he can't flip to England at all in the future and just get that one appearance in so he's locked in forever.
Yeah. Well, he might not even do that because Kevin Walters is a Queenslander, so he might leave the door open. So that if Ethan Strange doesn't play, there's still a chance.
You may well do that. Are you excited for it.
Oh, I am. I am really excited, and like you run through some of the names that are going to be in the England squad as well. I think that's why they've picked so many forwards. Like
They have to,
there's,
because
there's
England's best bet is
yeah,
in our forwards.
there's not a lot of depth in the outside backs in the squad. Like if somebody goes down, there's going to be a big reshuffle that gets. I mean, they've already lost Coates and Lomax that were picked originally, and so you'd think it'll be Nwangani Tuase and Josh Adokar as the wingers. And then if one of them goes down, I suppose Dylan Edwards will come in on the wing.
Yeah, it's
Reece Walsh, I think, has to be the starting fullback. And I heard Justin Horro talking about this on his podcast with Willie Mason yesterday, like after the grand final, that Reece Walsh will be the fullback. Dylan Edwards waited so long for James Tedesco to replace James Tedesco for New South Wales and for Australia. And now, like, Reece Walsh's form this year basically means that Dylan Edwards is going to go back to behind somebody else. Like, he had such a short window of opportunity. At least he's still there. But like when he was in his prime, he had James Tedesco, who he was never going to usurp. But I think with the picking of heaps of halves, Nathan Cleary and Cam Munster have had really big years, injury-wise, and then obviously playing deep into the finals. So I guess Moses and Dearden are sort of cover for that. Ethan Strange will probably be like a cover for the outside backs as well. Like he can play in the centres, and Tommy Dearden played 14 for Queensland during the Origin series. So I kind of understand that selection. It gives you a lot of options around your backs, but I like the squad. I really like the squad that's been picked because it's not. See, the problem with like the Australian team for so long is they haven't had a lot of competition, so they've been able to be quite, I guess, complacent with their selections and just keep picking the older guys. And then it comes to a stage where they've got to have a big rebuild. But in this one, like you've got a great balance of young, of experienced players like Munster, obviously, in the outside backs, and then the forward pack, like you go through Collins and Cotter, Tino Fasua-Malaawi, Pat Carrigan, Angus Crichton, Harry Grant, who have all played plenty of international and rep footy. But then guys like Jacob Preston finally getting rewarded. Lindsay Smith, who played last year, but not long until he's going to be playing State of Origin. Blake Brayley, who had an awesome year this year and is going to put a lot of pressure on for the New South Wales side. Put a lot of pressure on Reece Robson. Like him this year was the difference for the Sharks. Like because they finally had a running threat through the middle of the field.
Finally had a leader as well on the field.
Yeah. And then
it's that English steel. It's in his blood.
Yes, I'm sure the Pom fans will let him know about it too if he does get a game.
Might get his brother, might get his younger brother.
I thought you were going to say Jaden. But and then like rewards for guys that had great seasons, like Katoni Staggs. I was looking through his stats yesterday, in preparation for him potentially winning the Broncos Best and Fairest, and he in every single stat this year he had the best season that he's ever had. Like running meters were up, and I think it was one of the first podcasts we did when we were previewing the Broncos team, and I said to you that Katoni Staggs could be the best centre in the world, but the thing that's stopping him is he touches the ball 7 or 8 times a game. Like he did, but this year he was going in for yardage carries, and then he also had the strike that we know that he got, and great for him to be there. And then his old mate Gemmet Shibasaki, like I think he's lived an entire career in one season. Like does the training trial
like 8 months.
Yeah, does the training trial on a grand a week, plays Origin, manages to get came to the season and was so unfit. Like he was.
But do you remember at the start of pre-season when, like you said, he was so unfit and he was training, and there were reports in the press that he was going to be the starting centre, and everyone went, "Nah,
what?
No, he's not. No, he's not. What are you on about?"
Everyone thought it was going to be Jesse Arthurs or Dean Mariner.
Yeah, round one. What happened?
I think he scored a couple of tries in round one, didn't he?
Yeah. Shibasaki was in.
Again, they pumped the Roosters.
It's been a fairy tale since then.
So you get that, you play Origin, you win an Origin decider in New South Wales, and then continues with good form, decides to go out and get on the piss with the Dolphins boys after a game and gets dropped at the back end of the year, and you sort of go, right, well, Michael Maguire doesn't exactly have a reputation for being forgiving if you let him down, then comes back, wins the premiership, and now he's playing for Australia. Like that is an entire career's worth of drama and headlines in a single year. So
and
yeah, got to give props to him.
Yeah, and we've talked about him so much because it is that fairy tale. And Lindsay Smith last year had a great series in the Pacific Champs, and he's back in the team. He's been really, really good for Penrith this year, and he stepped up when needed to, when they lost, obviously, James Fisher-Harris. And he's just come into the starting pack, and he's ran it by storm. And obviously Liam Henry's representing the Prime Minister's 13, alternating 17, alternating with Lindsay at the Panthers. I actually thought he was quite unlucky not to be called up into the squad, just for the versatility, because obviously they're only taking such a small squad this time around. It's not like they were of the old series where they were taking 27 to 30 players. Like, there was such a short amount, whether the 5 halfbacks, mate, still...
I think it just gives you options.
I don't know what they're planning on doing.
Well, I think
it's not like the halfbacks that, like Matt Burton, for example, that can slot in at centre.
So I think it'll be Walsh. Like, Ethan Strange can play centre. Like, Walsh will be the fullback. I think it'll be Munster and Cleary that start as the halves pairing. Although there's a big argument for Munster did, and obviously Mitch Moses is the incumbent. But I think Cleary.
Worked well game one.
Everyone,
State of Origin.
It did, and then Dearden, I think, will be the 14. Like that bench player that can come on and relieve Harry Grant where he needs to. But it just depends which way they go. Like, it gives them a lot of options. Like the forward pack.
Yeah.
The forward pack will rotate a fair bit, I would assume. But yeah, I think I don't mind. I don't mind how many halves have been picked, because there's a few of them that can play multiple. Like Dearden and Strange can play multiple positions, and then Munster will be the 6, and it's a shootout between Cleary and Moses for the 7 jersey, I'd say.
I mean, there's only one winner there, isn't there, though? Let's face it. As the end of the season went, and Cleary got them by the scruff of the neck with that 11 wins on the bounce when they were bottom of the ladder, and then, I don't know. Moses has obviously picked up the yields a lot this year, but I think Cleary's got too much in the bank.
You know, what I think about the reason for picking Cleary at halfback is that the conditions over in the UK are going to be very similar, I think, to what we saw in New Zealand in the first week of finals. And Nathan Cleary in the first 50-odd minutes of that game.
20 degrees at the minute this week it's been in the UK.
That's warm.
Yeah, in October.
But, they are daytime games, though. I'm pretty sure it's 2:30 in the Arvo that they're supposed to be playing the game. So that might maybe lead them towards Moses. Thing with Nathan Cleary is he can, from the opening whistle, he can shut you out of the game with his kicking game, and really make that the English forward pack, which is going to be their big strength, work hard.
Yeah, absolutely, and I'm just so excited.
Is Herbie Farnworth going to be fit? That's my only question. Yeah,
he would have been fit for round 1 of finals had they have got there. So
well, Roosters did, so sucked in.
That. So it's so you look at like England, for example, and we go for. I was having this discussion with my mate, and I think our outside backs are the closest they've ever been. Because usually when we play Australia, we match you in the pack.
So Brimson,
we match you in the pack, but in the outside backs is usually where we get let down.
Yeah.
Whereas I think this time round, our outside back's probably the closest they'll be. So you look at you'd be looking at on your wings would be Dom Young and either Lewis Martin from Hull FC, or Liam Marshall maybe, or Billy Smith if we want to put him on the wing.
Yeah, Billy Smith available
then
too. What about Tommy Makinson? Is he still not going to be?
He's done now. He's done now. He's at Catalans, but he's ruled himself out, and he's not been in the best of form
so I don't think he'll be getting picked. And then your centres will be Farnworth and either Jake Wardle or Billy Smith, depending on if he goes on the wing.
Do you go Billy Smith over Jake Wardle simply because he's an NRL centre? Or because I guess you don't want to take opportunities off guys like Jake Wardle, who's been so good for a long time.
I think knowing Sean Wayne is he will be picking Jake Wardle to start. And then that's why I think Billy Smith on the wing potentially, but there's not a lot of pace there. Yep. And I think you need pace when you've got Adokar, you've got
Marky
Mark, who are fast.
Staggs and Walsh.
And you also need height. That's the difference, because if you're going up against Mark
in the air. Can you imagine if it was him on one wing and Coates? Like if Xavier Coates didn't get ruled out?
Yeah, it'd be an absolute bloodbath, man, for the English wingers. Which is why I don't think you can go with Martin, and I don't think you can go with Marshall because they're not tall enough. You'd have to have someone like Dom Young's height, where even though Dom Young's awful in the air,
he can't catch, but he can jump.
Yeah, he can jump and palm it away, which is all we need.
Yeah. The old AFL jump up and punch the ball out.
yeah, literally. And then your 6 and 7 is more than likely
Wellesby.
No, I reckon fullback will be Wellesby.
Not Brimson?
No, I think Brimson will only play if injuries happen.
Okay.
Just because I think Wellesby's a better player anyway. When in form and when on his day. And I think year 6 and 7 are probably going to be either Mickey Lewis and George Williams or George Williams and Harry Smith.
Yep.
I think
not Lewis Dodd.
Not Lewis Dodd, no, who's joined Catalan Dragons after a 6-figure payout by
goodness.
Rabbitohs that treated him really harshly. But I'll tell you what, it's been well compensated for that harsh treatment.
Yeah. It's going to cost South.
I'd take that money.
Yeah.
In a heartbeat. Hey, if a club wants another young English talent that you want to pay $1 million to, I'll get an agent and you can sort me out. You've never seen Lewis Dodd play, so you've not seen me play either. So.
No. That's a good point. You could pass
so
off.
You never know.
You could pass off as Lewis Dodd.
Might get a mil. There you go. So and then your props probably going to be Alex Walmsley's earned himself enough. I mean, he's 33, 34 years of age now, but
you need that experience coming up against the Australian
seasons he's had as well, mate. And he's tall, big. I think he'll get a nod. Your hooker, your other prop is probably not going to be Max King, despite him phoning up Sean Wayne and asking to play. Mainly because, did you hear this story?
I didn't.
So apparently Max King was like, yeah, I'm open to England, but Sean Wayne has apparently ruled out picking him due to him singing the Australian anthem at State Origin.
My goodness.
Can you not be proud of both, like, where you're born, where your mum's from, and where you've grown up? Can you not be happy about both things?
It's like that same stupid argument of, like, people saying that Brian Toto and Jerome Luai shouldn't be allowed to play Origin because they play for Samoa.
Exactly, and they're proud of that, but they're also proud of being Australian.
Yeah.
So, like, we're like, what sort of... It's so narrow-minded to me that someone's having to pick between the mother and father. Someone's got to pick between family and all that stuff. And the coach is like... And he's picked or wanted to pick, and the coach has gone, nope, sorry, mate, you sang the national anthem. I wouldn't sing the English national anthem, for example, because of the words that it connotates and everything else. So... Yeah,
and that happens here in Australia.
I'm still proud to be English.
That happens here in Australia too. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm still proud to be English, but would that mean that I wouldn't get picked?
Just ask Gary Neville. Gary Neville wouldn't have played for England if he was...
Yeah, exactly. If he was,
what he said
if he was saying what he's now saying. But good on him. Good on him for standing up for what he believes and
exactly.
Being a champagne...
I hate that. I hate that keep politics out of sport argument.
Oh, mate, we're rugby league fans.
Yeah.
Our sport's born out of politics.
Yeah,
If you say
exactly.
keep politics out of sport,
Yeah.
piss off. Don't support rugby league if you think that. Genuinely.
Keep politicians out of sport. I don't want to see my Prime Minister in a football shed. I don't want to hear what Nigel Farage thinks about the Australian cricket team, which has happened in the past. Like, I remember, this is a tangent, we're good at these, but I remember Nigel Farage a few years ago. Australia had won the World Test Championship final against India, and they didn't spray the champagne because they had Usman Khawaja on stage, who's a Muslim and can't drink.
Yes,
and
I think
so
I
the
remember
Australians
this
were
comment.
sensitive to that because he was standing to the side thinking they were going to blast the champagne, and they didn't, and they got Uzi back up on stage, and Nigel Farage just blasted them, saying like, "Oh, straying from tradition." I'm like, I'm so sorry.
Straying from tradition. He'd hate it over here. They're not allowed to do it.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
if England win the Ashes, for example, at the end of the year, the cricket Ashes, then they can't blast open champagne here because of the safe drinking laws.
Yeah.
Responsibility of service of alcohol. So
Yeah.
will he go off on that and go, "Oh, it's English tradition that we do this"? I was like, at the end of the day,
Probably.
your ancestors are foreign. Farage isn't a bloody English name, is it?
No. No. Yeah,
But,
that's a
so it looks like
whole
Max
other
King,
argument.
Yeah. It looks like Max King won't be getting picked for England because he sung the national anthem.
Yeah.
So you're probably
Because
looking
of Reform UK.
Yeah, you're probably looking at Matty Leeds. Lecky's had a good year. Who's Polish, by the way, born.
Do you pick Morgan
English
Smithies
red.
in the front
Morgan
row?
Smithy,
Because
I was
you've got
gonna say,
lot of depth there.
because Victor Radley's ruled himself out. You're now looking at Smithies bench 13/prop. I reckon. I reckon he's going to go
Because
pure.
Morgan Knowles will be
Knowles
the
will
13.
start, mate. Easily. And both them players have the option of we can play prop as well if you want to swap it up. So like if Radley came on, like Knowles may well move to prop, but obviously Radley's not there. So like you've got that luxury with them players, with Smithies, with Knowles. Then you're looking at your second row, probably Mike McMeekin actually. He's a really good player. He's a southerner as well. Another one from, I think he came from London.
Matty Nicholson
in the second row. Kai Pearce-Paul. You've got James Batchelor, who for Hull KR has been amazing. Junior in Sember for Wigan. Like, we've got some of the best second rows and front rows.
It's a good pack.
That can
really
go
good
toe
pack.
to toe.
Yeah.
You look at Matty Lees for Saints. You're looking at, even Owen Trout, who's a young lad for Lee. He's had a sensational season. Should have scored a try at the weekend, but he got ruled out, and I had him at 66-1 first try scorer. So that got ruled out, and I was fuming. But he's a really good young player. You look at, even for Huddersfield, you've got players like Wilson, who's a young lad who's not had the best of seasons due to the team, but him himself has been really good. And you look at other youngsters that we've got coming through, like even in the backs, like Wellesby's still 23. You look at there's a young lad, Flanagan, for Huddersfield,
Carl Flanagan,
who's Irish, but obviously can qualify through English, like residency,
ancestry,
But I believe he was born in Ireland. He might be the player I'm thinking of. But yeah, you've got loads of like young players coming through that are exciting for England, and I think that's what we've got to get right. The blood in of these as well. Like
that's what Australia's done really well.
Yeah, that's
squad.
What I mean. Yeah, that's what I was going to go and relate back to, because you guys have really mixed it up well with the inexperience, the 7 debutants, and the experience of the players that they've got playing.
Yeah.
But it's weird saying like, inexperience when we're talking about, for example, Shibasaki's played Origin, Preston, who's only young but has had countless first grade games
and finals.
Mark Nwangawita, that was the worst
Nwangawituase. He's literally played international sport. Like he played for the
Wallabies.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, we're talking about inexperience, but we've got Bradman Best played Origin. Like,
scored a winning try in Origin.
Kaloma Tongi's played
Origin and for
for
Tonga.
Tonga,
Yeah.
like for years, and we're talking about debutants. Like there's plenty of experience. Like Reece Walsh is a debutant, but yeah, he's the most known rugby league player probably
in the world. Yeah,
the world.
Yeah,
he's the most followed, I think, on the current players.
Yeah.
I think he's overtook 1 million now on Instagram and stuff. So you've got. It's scary as an English fan, but I think we are the closest we've ever been.
Yeah.
At the moment, and like you said, AJ Brimson isn't even in that team that I've just named, and we could slot him in somewhere.
And I mean, outside of the on-field sort of matchups with how close it's been, you've also got to factor in that the NRL season's a fair bit longer. So they've played a lot more football. There's going to be a lot more fatigue. The flight to the UK and the jet lag and the trying to acclimatise to.
Well, they're doing
very quickly.
They're flying out to France.
Have you seen Kevy
this week? Aren't they?
Yeah. Have you seen Kevy blow up about the flights that have been booked by the RFL where they've got them leave?
Please say they're like 3 days.
No, they're not.
Like 10 layovers.
Like, where they've got them leaving Sydney at 6 a.m.
Yes.
So they've just slept, and then they're going to arrive, and then it's 20 odd hours, and then they're going to arrive
in France.
They arrive in London. I don't know if they are going to France.
No, they are going to France.
They might be. Will they arrive in London at like 8 o'clock at night?
Really?
Yeah.
So they must then be flying.
So it's
I'm certain they announced
20-hour flight.
I'm certain they announced that they were doing something with France, like literally 2 weeks ago.
No, I'm not sure. Well, because they're flying into London, so, but I mean, yeah, like you've also got that factor whereas the English are going to be just being able to sit back and relax and wait for the Aussie guys to.
Oh, they said it was a possibility, so they mustn't be doing it. I know they were talking about it 2 weeks ago that they were hoping to go and jump over to France.
Yeah. I know that like World Club Challenge teams have gone to France and done camps.
Well, the World Cup did last time.
Yeah,
they stayed
and they did before the Cup
in Perpignan.
Yeah.
I thought, honest to God, I've had that in my head for weeks that they were going and staying in France. That's why I was like, why are they landing in London? So are they doing all the pre-season stuff, pre-tour stuff here?
Yeah.
And then flying over?
Yeah.
Oh. And then doing a week in London.
They must be, yeah. Because I think they fly out this weekend. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think.
Or early next week.
Because the tour is the first test is 25th, 24th, 25th.
Yeah, well, next weekend, next
weekend after next.
Yeah. Which will be that could actually work well because I'm going to be on the Gold Coast that weekend for the Supercars down there.
Mate, what are you doing?
Just come down to the Gold Coast.
I know,
and
but
then, spend all the.
How are you going that instead of Tonga Samoa?
Oh, I'm a bogan at heart, and I love the Supercars, so that's why.
Mate, that's why I'm up in Brisbane. I was like, "There's no way I'm missing that atmosphere."
Yeah,
that'll be sick.
That will be awesome, and those squads as well. Like I know, we don't have a lot of time, but the squads that have been picked for those are the strongest that I think they've ever been for Tonga and Samoa. New Zealand aren't winning.
With Payne Haas.
New Zealand aren't winning the Pacific Championship. No chance.
Navanu White.
Yeah, but they just don't have any, like, their halves are Kieran Foran and Dylan Brown.
Yeah.
Who, look, I'm like, I sort of
Kieran Foran's having one last one.
Well, who else is it going to be? Like, Hughes is injured. Nikorima's injured. Sean Johnson, there's no way they give an SOS to Sean Johnson, which they thought about last year.
Fucking imagine that.
Yeah, 2 years out of retirement.
2 years out of retirement and go, fancy having a little go. I mean, he's in shape.
Come and play a test match.
He's in shape.
So, yeah, they just don't really have any halves to choose from, basically.
Yeah, that's the big difference then, isn't it?
Yeah. Like, it's still a strong squad. Like, any squad that has, like you said, White and James Fisher-Harris and Moses Leota and all those players.
Crossland?
Phoenix Crossland's there, yeah. Yep. Oh, I've got it written down somewhere. These bloody books that I've got. Keanu Kinney. So, yeah, to beat, like...
Kinney's Kiwi,
Asako and Molitalo, Matt Timoko, Joseph Tarpanet, didn't even mention him. Xavier Willison, he got his first call-up, so that's massive. Britton Nickera, Aaron Clark, like, that's a good side.
Yeah.
But I just think, like, I'm biased because I'm an Isaiah Katoa fan, but that is, like, him behind that Tongan pack.
With Christian Wolf
and then,
at the helm.
and then Jerome Luai behind the pack that's got Payne Haas in it now. With the flair of guys like Farlongo, like, it's gonna be good. Like, anyone that is not sick of footy yet is gonna have a treat.
Trust me, I'm not.
I won't be watching. I won't be watching the Prime Minister's games this weekend. That doesn't interest me in the slightest. But
that doesn't interest me either.
That's a diplomacy exercise.
Well, it's like on Sunday, I'm getting up early for the Grand Final in England. And then watching that, and then recording an English podcast about St. Helens, because we've just sacked our head coach and club legend.
Yeah.
And then I'm literally out in the city all day doing my other job, so it's like I've just not got enough time to even bother watching that.
Yeah.
So,
like, it's a good opportunity for some players. Like, this is what I don't think Ethan Strange is going to play on the Australian tour because he's in the Prime Minister's team too. But like guys like Trey Fuller and Jai Gray and Jaden Campbell, like, good opportunity for them.
Does the Australia 13 not affect other nations? I suppose it doesn't anyway. I always thought Trey Fuller was like...
But Trey Fuller's Indigenous.
Is he? I always thought he was part of the... Did he not get picked for Tonga?
No.
I always thought he did. Who am I thinking of then?
I don't know. The Hammer went to the other...
I know Hammer went to Samoa, didn't he?
Went to Samoa, yeah.
Yeah. So I just love how exciting the international games get in with these players defecting. And I think that the moment...
It's going to annoy the Farages, but...
But the moment they get rid of... So, like, everyone talks about State of Origin being the pinnacle. For me, you can't have it being the pinnacle if you're excluding the best players from other nations. So, for example, Herbie Farnworth, even though he's Burnley born and bred, I believe still could qualify for Queensland.
Yeah, because he came over here
because he came over before the age of 14.
Yeah.
So he could still, like, be part of the Queensland setup if he wanted to, if this tier system wasn't in place.
Yeah.
Or, like, you look at Nafanu White, New South Wales.
Yeah.
Like, he could do both, and I think
guys
the moment
like Adam Fanua Blake,
AJ Brimson
played one game. Like, Adam Fanua Blake played one game for New Zealand before he defected to Tonga, but
yes, he did.
Now can't play Origin.
And it was like Taumalolo back in the day.
Yeah,
he couldn't because
he played for New Zealand.
He played for one game for New Zealand or two games or whatever it was.
Yeah,
and I just think the moment they can get rid of that tier system is like the more you can start going, Origin is the pinnacle because it has got the best players playing.
I mean, a rising tide can lift all boats. Like, you don't.
We're getting the metaphors out now.
Yeah, but I mean, this situation is the perfect situation for that metaphor because, like, you don't. If you prioritize state of origin in terms of the selection criteria, then you run the risk of cutting the best players out of playing for other nations, and you bring down the international game. And then on the opposite, if you say that guys that play for Samoa can't play Origin, then you lift the international game, but then Origin suffers. So I don't understand why there's so much opposition to it, but that's life, I guess.
Yeah, I tell you what, I'm just looking at because I clicked on a link about the Ashes, and it's the Australian Sports Tours.
Johnny clicking on.
I know. And it's Australian Sports Tours, and I tell you what, this sounds like a half decent package that they've put on. I mean, I know it's expensive, but like 16 nights, all accommodation in each city, including 2 nights in central London, 2 nights in central Paris, 1 night in Reims, 2 nights in Lille, 4 nights in Liverpool, 3 nights in Dublin, Temple Bar District, expensive region, and 2 nights in Leeds. And then flying back from there.
And Willie Mason's got a big tour going too.
Yeah, you get to you get a tour guide of the Western Front, Anfield Stadium tour. You get
it'd be
League.
awesome.
You get to buy a Premier League ticket and go to a Premier League game.
Yeah.
It's like really quite a half decent packages. I know the one Willie Mason's doing is like incredible.
Yeah.
The one they were doing.
I just wonder. See, love Vegas, right? The idea for Vegas, but I just don't think you get that much interest in a Vegas tour package for 4 days.
No,
while you're
because
over
there's not
there,
much
because
around it.
yeah,
You'd have to
exactly.
go like San Fran,
this
LA,
is how you get people
Vegas.
This is how you get people going over and supporting the
Yeah.
international game.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
imagine going and playing a game in like Japan or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, but it's similar things like, that's what rugby union do.
Yeah,
That's what they're trying
Yeah.
with this Rugby 360 is like bring the games to other places and see if fans will follow.
it's not going to work.
It's not going to work the way they're doing it.
No.
But you look at that's a different topic for another day.
Mm.
But if you could do that, like you say, right, we're going to have England versus Australia, but we're going to meet halfway. We're going to go do it in, I don't know, like said, Japan.
Galatasaray.
Or we're going to do it in New York.
Yeah. Yep.
Like they did the Denver test, for example, England and New Zealand. Wrong city from the start. It was high altitude. And what they should have done is gone, right, which in America is like quite a big city that everyone would want to go to. Vegas, New York, LA, San Fran. And you do that and you go, right, let's put Miami. Like, you've got so many things they could have done. And instead they went, yeah, we'll put it. Like they did a testing of Warrington versus Wigan, I think in the late 90s, 1998. And they did it in Jacksonville, Florida.
Yeah, weird.
And they did like a package where you could go to Orlando, though. You could go to Miami and stuff like that. And then played the game in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
So, like,
and Jacksonville's got a good stadium there with the Jaguars, obviously.
Exactly. So it's like, think outside the box and do things like that. So,
it's something that rugby league doesn't do well, but we can solve their problems.
Exactly. We've got our OAP World Cup that we did a few months ago. We've now got this.
I think Serbia won that.
Yeah. With the Travojeviches when they're 30 odd.
Yep.
Jake will be 42, still representing Serbia.
Yeah, Tom with one leg.
One hamstring left.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's pretty much, we're wrapped up. We'll quickly run you through the Daly M winners we mentioned before. James Tedesco won it. Absolute stellar season. 22 points ahead of next in Nathan Cleary. Then they're all bunched together with the likes of Cleary, Katoa, Haas, Brayley, Dearden, Walsh, Metcalf. Oh, it's a shame he got injured in it. He could well have been up there.
He could have, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Cherry Evans, Will Kennedy made up that. Will Kennedy celebrating a new contract, a 12-month extension.
Finally. Yeah. It took a while for them to wrap him up.
But isn't he on, like, a really low deal due to...
Yeah. Oh, he's the biggest bargain. He's one of the biggest bargain buyers in the comp. Yeah.
But obviously that then takes him to, Perth coming.
Yeah.
So that's all they're doing. It's like Herbie Farmworth's just extended till the end of 2027.
Yeah.
It all is tying in with the likes of PNG.
I was reading today that the recruitment manager at Perth want 12 players signed by Christmas. And I looked at the date and I went, yeah, well, you're going to have November 1 when you can start talking to them. It's going to take a while to get those players wrapped up, but
you can get Munster, you can get probably Ponga.
Yeah, Pappenhausen or Gray, maybe. I just don't know where they go. Like it just always seems like it's hard to recruit. It seems hard to recruit.
When the Dolphins came in, they got I swear it felt like anyway. They got announced they were in, and then less than a month later, they had 6 players signed.
Yeah, but and I know they spoke to a lot of marquee players, but those players were Jermaine Asako and the Bromwiches and Kafusi, who all great players, right? But Asako had been playing Queensland Cup.
Well, wasn't he at Gold Coast?
Yeah, he was at the coast,
Brisbane
was playing Queensland Cup.
previously.
Yeah, the Bromwiches were coming towards the end. Kafusi was coming towards the end, I suppose. Like he still is, and
Yeah.
but
He
yeah,
somehow still keeps plodding
I
on.
hope, God, I just hope they get the recruitment right for Perth and PNG, because it's such a risk. And the more, like, I know you get excited when they announce new teams, but the more that I think about it, the harder it's going to be.
They should have gone one at a time. Perth, for the year that they wanted it, so 2027, I think is right. But the combination of the year after being PNG is not. For a start, no infrastructure, no nothing. They should have been 2030 at the earliest.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's
yeah. They need the logistics there are going to be the big drama.
Yeah, exactly. And people moan about, they're going to be in a compound, and it's going to be basically like a prison. Tell you what, mate, if the compound ends up with what the plans and the money they're pumping into this
Looks
compound,
pretty good.
It'll be the best prison in the world.
Yeah.
You'll have about 6 pools. You'll have swim up, but you'll have like nightclubs in there. You'll have everything just for your players, friends. Like, they'll say a compound that's a prison. Be bloody luxury, mate.
Yeah. They're not. It's not going to be short of any resources.
No, exactly. We'll run through the rest of the team and then we'll call it quits. Tedesco fullback, wingers Marky Mark and Coates, deserved. Staggs and Crichton centres. I think Farnworth was unlucky there to miss out.
His injury. That's a pretty strong field though.
It up. Yeah. Staggs racked up the points in the later rounds, I bet. Strange and Cleary, your halfback combo. Vanua Blake and Haas props. Blake Brayley, Katoa and Young, and Erin Clark lock of the year. You've got your coach of the year was Ricky Stewart, deserved. Rookie of the year, Toya, deserved. Captain, Tedesco. Try of the year, Marky Mark for that try. Tackle of the year, Ethan Strange got that. I don't know what tackle that was for.
Yeah.
Top point scorer is Sarko yet again with the Dolphins' sensational attack. And the NRLW, Tamika Upton swept up the Daly medal.
There was a bit of drama there with the...
Yes, because wasn't it...
Because Julia Robinson got rested in round 10 and they were neck and neck, and then obviously she didn't get any points and Upton scores 3 tries and made it very hard for her to catch up. But I mean, Tamika Upton, just the best player like that the NRLW's ever seen.
And then we had wingers Taki Moana.
Yep.
Gallagher, Kelly, Robertson were the centres. Kelly was really good for the Roosters. Basically, it's dominated by...
Roosters and Broncos.
It's not that dominated as you'd expect, though. With Broughton and Southwell as the halves. Johnson and Elliston in the props.
Jesse Southwell, a future Bronco, apparently. That'll just be cancel the competition, just give them the trophy.
Yeah, literally. Well, they already won it this year. Manzelman, hooker of the year. Tietzel, Clydesdale, second rowers, and Kernick, lock of the year for the Roosters. Again,
got picked in the Australian side, didn't get left out this time.
Yeah, and coach of the year, John Strange, Jasmine, and Ethan's father. Rookie of the year, Sawaso.
Shalom Sawaso. Yeah.
Shalom Sawaso, Brisbane Broncos.
A gun.
What position?
Plays middle forward, lock forward, sort of front row, but just like impossible to tackle. And only 18.
Captain was Kelly. I didn't know Kelly was the captain actually, so I'm learning. Bostock, young one coming through at the Steelers and St. George. She won try of the year, tackle of the year, Lauatiti. That's got to be a relation.
Yeah, I think so.
Tamika Upton, try scorer and point scorer was Tietzel for the Brisbane Broncos. And we've ran through all the awards there. There's not much controversy in there, apart from obviously you said about the women's. But that's the case of it's the way the cookie crumbles. You get rested, you take that risk.
Yeah.
Is what it is. But, yeah, that's been a great pod. Excited for the Ashes.
And plenty of good ones to come.
plenty of good ones to come throughout the season, especially now, like, we're out of finals time. So a lot more schedules are freed up.
Relaxed, yeah.
Got less press conferences and celebrations to attend.
Yes, exactly. I am looking forward to just relaxing.
Now you're on to cricket season?
Yeah, it starts soon. November 21.
Oh, I've seen Pat Cummins is out of the Ashes
that's
squad.
That's going to be tough to cover. I mean, you got Scott Boland that's going to come in, but I mean, Scott Boland against England, like, I know he had his debut series and got the 6 for 7, but then the New England, like under Brendan McCullum, just tore him apart in the last Ashes over there. So, look, the wickets out here are a little bit different. They've been very green recently, the wickets in Australia, so might be a little bit different. But yeah, Pat Cummins, I mean, a bowler who also captains and scores handy runs all the time. It's going to be tough to cover, but I still think 5-0.
Non-biased. I have no idea. I don't know what cricket is. All I know is I'm going 2 tests, so have that.
Enjoy that. Enjoy that.
Day one of Sydney and day 3 of Adelaide? Or day 2? The Friday of Adelaide. I've just booked my flight today one way, because I'm not sure what I'm doing yet on my way back. But Jesus Christ, the flights are expensive now.
Yep.
I was going to do my return and it was like 800 already. Yeah, but it's also because no one else is going to Adelaide apart from for the Ashes.
Yeah. Ridiculous.
Oh, I'm dreading State of Origin being there next year. The prices are going to be ridiculous.
Drive.
Yeah, I mean, it's like 18 hours, so I'm tempted. But yeah, it's been a great episode, and yeah, we'll catch you on the next one, I suppose.
See you on the flip side.
Peace.